What's up? What's up? What's up? How's y'all doing? We got Judah 144, everybody's favorite mother trucker, A.L. Evans, Little Rock 2517. Oh, we're gonna have a good old time. I have a Facebook friend who should be coming up. I'll put the link in the chat. She wants to discuss how men are just not protected anymore and they can't take rejection and they're just beating the hell out of women randomly. When statistically, women are still what? Being protected by men. But yet, like I told her before, I said, here's the crazy part. Here she is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Here she is. Whoo! I'm going to love this. And please be mindful and be nice. This is our guest here. You don't have to show face. Because that is actually my face, by the way. So, yeah. You could click the link right here and come on. That is me. I don't put up any pictures except for Panthro. That is not me. Let me see. This picture is me. This picture is me. Oh, this picture is definitely me. So, yeah, right now, I want my cigar smoking picture.
I don't even know how to change the pictures. I've never done this.
You have to add it in.
Stop.
Is that a cat?
Yeah, I got two of them.
I understand. So, Miss Abdullah, please
My
introduce
name.
yourself.
Let
Is it
me
Abdullah?
first. Let me my name is Abdallah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Abdallah, please introduce yourself to everybody.
I am Nia Abdallah. Like he said, we are. I don't even know why we're Facebook friends. Where we came from. I don't know what you want me to tell them about.
Because we're just such lovely people, aren't we? We just love. See, that's that beautiful silver medalist picture right there. See, let me blow that up real quick. See, lovely lady right there.
Yeah, that is my old life. I'm an Olympian. I got a silver medal in Taekwondo. Now I work in corporate America. I don't know what else you want me to tell the group.
I mean, that's all you need to tell them. Unless you want to tell them more, can you juggle? I mean, shit.
I cannot.
Can you dance?
I can.
Oh, so that's stereotypical, right? I thought black people don't dance. Like, no. I
No.
mean, you ain't got to tell them anything you don't want to tell them.
I'm
So,
I'm an open book. My only rule is that nobody bring any of my family or boyfriend or anything. I signed up for this. They didn't. That's
I
my only.
pretty. If you know anything about my show, I got in people's asses for trolling.
Yeah.
Even people who I don't agree with, I got in other people's asses for trolling. I said first and foremost, if you're gonna debate, if you're not gonna like what somebody said, take it out on the person who said it, not their family. We don't do that shit here. You will get fried doing that shit here.
Yeah. I've never been on your show before, so this should be interesting.
This should be interesting. We were supposed
I
to
don't
be
think it's
here
gonna go the
before.
way you think it is, though.
Um, maybe that's you. I don't know. Maybe you're expecting me to be rude or something.
Nope. That's not what I mean. I think you're expecting something from me that you're not gonna get.
No, 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 no. Most of the time, if I have women on the panel, Most of the women kind of, like talking to me because we have interesting conversations. Even the ones who start out as detractors enjoy their time speaking with me
Yeah.
because they were like, I thought you hate women. I do not.
And that's what I mean. I think from your conversations on Facebook, I think you think that I am something that I am not. I'm actually quite
If,
in the middle.
if I actually if I actually thought you hate men, I would have just blocked you.
Yeah, that's not the
Like
case. That's not the
it's
case at
like
all.
if you look at the post that I put up there, a lot of it's a social experiment. Because if I put up a post like last time, like probably a week or so ago, maybe 5 days at the most, when I put up instead of asking fathers why don't they fight harder, tell the mothers why does the dad have to fight at all. If you notice one thing, you didn't get none of the rhetoric for that Kevin Samuels, Derek Jackson post. Not even close.
Yeah. Well,
And
I don't know if I saw that post. I might have. I
I'll
don't remember.
repost it. I'll send it to you if you like. You know, and it's funny because when I post stuff like this, and when people talk about Kevin, I'm like, Kevin's my boy. I know Kevin. I said, here's my thing. I'm not mad at a person getting paid for doing anything of service. You feel me?
Yeah, my thing with Kevin was, for one, I've had real conversations with Kevin, not on the air, not the stuff that people see.
I've had,
I was in Kevin's group
I've,
before Facebook,
I've,
before he went viral.
I've known Kevin years before he went viral. I had
Yeah,
off conversations myself years before that.
and I wasn't a Kevin friend, but I wasn't either side. I wasn't necessarily a like Kevin lover, but I wasn't a Kevin enemy either. But I didn't agree with everything that he did, and we had conversations. It was just some stuff that I didn't like the way he was moving, but I feel the same way about Derek Jackson.
And you got to realize one thing about a lot of modern women, right? A lot of modern women never been told honesty by men. And how do I know this? It's because when you tell women the honest truth about themselves, the old adage, does this dress make me look fat? And like Garfield would say, no, it's the fat that make you look fat. Men try to spare women's feelings. And I think that's what hinders a lot of women and men nowadays. Is that if we can actually sit down and settle the bullshit and be like, look, if you want to get married, this is what I'm looking for. If you want to get married, this is what you want. This is what you're looking for. Those don't happen.
Yeah, and I think what I was saying on the post is, I think the difference between men and women is understanding what that means is, I want to hear the truth. I think a lot of men think that women saying I want to hear the truth means they want to hear it and accept it. No, they want to hear it. But if she asks you, do I look fat in this dress? She wants you to tell the truth. But that doesn't mean she's not going to have attitude about it. And I think that's the difference between women and men, is women are saying, I want to hear the truth, even if I have an attitude about it. And men don't want the attitude part.
Because guess what happens to men when they get stressed out? That builds up cortisone. And I mean, you got to realize all that stress, all that lactic acid that builds up in the body and mind, that kills men.
And I agree. But that's why I say that men tell the truth for themselves, because they don't want to be stressed about it.
And then on top of that, when we tell them the truth, there's a lot of women out there who are delusional. Would you agree?
I agree. But my
Because
thing is, do you not feel that there are a lot of men out there that are delusional about their truth too?
there are some, but majority of men are honest about their truth.
I disagree.
And the reason why I'm going to explain why is because men have to know the truth early.
I
Little,
disagree.
little boys, every boy wanted to be Jordan, but if your parents are, if your dad's 5'4", your mom's 5 foot, you're not going to make the NBA unless you Muggsy Bogues.
Right. Men are told the truth about that, but they're not told the truth about what it means to be in a relationship.
Men are
They're told that if they're just a good guy and they do these things, that they should get a woman. They're told that from a beginning of age. The same things like men say, oh, well, just pull her hair so she'll know you'll like her. That stuff
I'm,
is
I'm,
given to
I'm,
men at a young age.
I'm gonna tell you what happens with the black community at a young age when it's relationships. Boys are told to be this nice, chivalrous guy, especially since a large majority of our children are raised in single mother homes. So a lot of these boys are raised to be the men that mama could not get. So what happens is they're told lies. They're told half truths. A lot of girls in our community are taught how to get over on men. They're not told how to respect men. They're told A lot of them are told how to get over on men. Like I've said before on my show, the first person to put a value on your vagina was never a man. It was probably mama for a
So
lot.
my question, two things I want to ask you is, how are you defining a single parent? Like they're being raised by a single. Are you defining that as dad not being in the house or dad not being around at all? I'm just trying to get a gauge.
Single parent home is one parent in home.
Okay,
That's
so
how
you're
that's
counting
how the
even if they
government
have a
is.
father. Are you counting even if they have
Because
a father in their life, just not in the home?
right.
So you're
Because
counting
guess
both of those. I'm just trying to get clarification.
right. Because no matter, even if you have a father in your life, whoever you're with the most has the most influence. Would you agree?
What? No, I'm saying if both parents are in the life equally, are you still
If
counting that because he's not in the house?
the majority of the times the kids, there's no equal in it.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Now, if
again,
there's one thing, I'll give you this one. If the child lives with half, then you're not a single parent.
right?
If you're,
That's the
I'm
question
gonna,
I was asking. That's why I'm trying to get clarification.
I'm gonna define it even more. If you're a divorcee, you're not a single mother. You're an ex-wife.
Wait, but is that a single parent home?
In other words, if you were not married, and majority of the time when you get divorced, it's usually going to be 50-50 unless some other things happen within that divorce decree.
Right. But what my question is, if whether
But
it's divorce or not, is it a single parent home? If she is divorced and the kid is with her majority of the time, are you counting that as a single parent home or you're not?
because one, a single mother, you can't be single if you were in a marriage because that father's still there out of wedlock.
Right. But what, again, that's why I'm trying to define it, because you said
I
a single
just
parent home.
just told
But
you
let me
because
finish.
if you're most women who are divorcees are not single mothers.
Right. No,
Unless
but
that
that's not the
father
question
is
that I'm
told,
asking.
if
Can I
you're,
finish?
let me explain. If that father is totally out the picture of that ex-wife, then she might go into the realm of single mom.
Right. So that's where I'm
If the
trying to get
father
clarification,
dies,
because you're
if
I'm not talking about being a single mom or not single mom. I'm saying when we're defining a single parent home where you're saying that
we're
where
defining where the child lives majority of their life
so whether she
with
was
the mom,
married or not, that you're saying that.
right? If she,
Okay.
because guess what? We have an overwhelming feminine influence in our community.
Right. So we didn't even have to talk about the married or not part then,
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
because it's the overwhelming feminine majority. So what happens is these little boys get told, you would think mama would game her sons up on how women nature is. I like a lot of men, we're okay with women having hypergamous nature.
A lot of men aren't though.
Well, a lot of men are. That's the reason why we work
Right.
and try to
But
get better
only for
jobs.
10% are, but like Kevin Samuel said, there's only a small percentage of men, especially black men, that are able to do it. So not a lot of men are.
See, this is the problem where people misconstrue what Kevin was saying. Men are okay with that because men will say either I'm going to get a better job or just leave her alone.
So are you saying
Or
the average man is going
yeah,
to live? An average man is going to pay all the bills, and the woman stays at home.
the
Are you
average
saying that?
man. Let me put it to you this way: 75 to 80% of women have to work. Where'd she go? Let me put the link back in there for her. Don't forget to hit a like, hit the cash app, please. And just to answer,
My apologies. I dropped.
I know it happens. Just to
Yeah,
answer your question,
I was trying to click a different button, and I clicked leave. That was on me. I'm
when it
sorry.
comes to string yards, the less you touch, the better you are.
Well, I'm trying to read the chats also. That's why.
Nah, it's the chats will be the chats. See, the average man is going to pay bills. The average woman, 80, 90%, let me see, about 75, 80% of women are going to have to work. So most men are okay with working because you got to realize here's the fundamental things that a lot of young men were told. You don't make money till you're like 35, 40 years old. And when people say, well, that you've seen in the comments of that post, well, women aren't attracted to older men. Bullshit. Stop acting like we grew up in two different communities.
So before we move on to that, when you're talking about the average man, statistically, how many men are paying all the bills in marriages? If we just talk about current marriages, how many households are one income?
Um, roughly, let me see. Roughly, majority of the time, the men are paying majority of the bills.
No. That's not what I
Or
said.
one income.
That wasn't my
If
question.
you
I
really,
said how
if you
many
really
are a one income household?
one income household, hey, you got to look at it. In our community, if you're a single mom, that's a one income household.
I'm talking about
We're not even,
married. I'm talking about married people. I'm
even for
talking about
married
married people
people,
with a man and a
75%,
woman.
you already said it, 75 to 80% of married people work. I've
Right.
already
So
said
what I'm
that
saying is that means that
before
the
that. So
statistics tell us that most
statistics
men
tell
aren't. Statistics are telling us that most men are not paying all the bills.
most men,
It's just
let me,
not the
let
truth.
me put it to you this way. If a man pays the mortgage and a woman pays the car note, does that
That's not
equal? Wait a
hypergamy
minute,
though.
wait a minute, wait a minute. Hold up. If a man's paying the mortgage and she pays the car note, who's paying more? Typically.
I am only talking about
No,
hypergamy.
no, no, I'm asking you a question.
Depends on how many cars you have.
No. If she pays the car note, there's 1 to 2 cars.
Okay.
Which usually more, the car note or the mortgage?
Probably the mortgage.
Most likely the mortgage, right?
Right.
So if most men are gonna pay they're more than their fair share
Right,
because
but
that's
that's not what we're talking about. Hypergamy
but
means that he's paying all the bills. Not she's not
no,
paying all the bills.
hypergamy is not about her paying the bills. It's about class. That's what hypergamy is.
If
She
she's
wants to be in a high
hypergamous, that
class.
means no. If she's hypergamous, that means she is
All
not
women
paying
have
bills.
all women have hypergamous nature. Some
Right. That
women
means
just
she
can't
does not
stand.
want to pay the bills. So if she
But
is
guess
paying the
what?
bills, she is
She's,
not living
she's gonna
hypergamy.
get. In other words, a woman's gonna get the best deal her looks, her chastity, and her sex appeal can afford.
And most women can't afford hypergamy.
Most women want it, but guess what?
But
Here's the
most
problem.
women can't afford hypergamy, and most men
Most
can't
women
afford to
want
live
it,
that life.
but that's the
That's
problem.
just the
Most
truth.
women can't afford it, but most women want it.
And most men can't do it.
Most
I
men are
don't know
paying.
why you don't
So
want to admit that
most men are
most
still.
men
You
can't
do
do it.
know majority of the men in relationships where they're married or shacking up, they're still paying majority of the bills.
Yes, but they're not what we're talking about. What I'm saying is most women, do you not agree or disagree? Most women would love to not work and have him pay all the bills.
All women would love not to work,
Right. And so, but most men can't afford to do that. That is
but
all I'm
most
saying.
people don't live those lives. An overwhelming majority of people have to work. Ever
Right.
since
That's all I was saying. That's all I've been saying just now.
all the dawn of time, I've even answered the question before you even asked it. Majority of people had to work. You got to understand this whole thing about granddaddy paying all the bills. You got to think there's a thing called inflation that granddaddy never
You're
seen.
saying exactly what I was saying 5 minutes
And
ago.
then on top of that, when women say they're getting into relationships, a lot of women don't even know about having the best deal they can get. Sometimes the best deal they can get, and let's take the black community for average, right? Average female, let me see, the average medium income for a black woman is around what? 29,000 to 31,000. Average medium income for a black male is what? 39 to 42.
Do you realize that you're saying exactly what I said 5 minutes ago?
I said that before you even said it, right? You did
Right.
great
So why did you disagree with me?
because you tried to finagle it a different way.
I,
Yes, female have hypergamous nature. Females are going to get the best possible deal they can
Right.
get. The
And
problem with it, the problem with it now is this: a lot of females don't know where their water seeks their own level.
right, but I,
Problem.
I want you to realize that there are a lot of men that have that same issue, and that's what you're not seeing.
None are very realistic because if a guy can get a good job, because you do know men will work when there's jobs available, right?
There's jobs available now.
Not as many, but men will work. Matter of fact, the United States government is losing $50 billion a year not hiring black men.
Again, but there's a lot of jobs out
But
there
yeah,
because
but
I
yeah,
work in corporate America. There's
we
jobs
got,
out here.
we
A lot of
know.
a lot of black men statistically don't qualify for some of the jobs
But,
because
but,
they
but,
don't
but,
go to college.
but guess what? Why don't they go to college?
Oh, there's multiple reasons.
Because what? Only 10% of boys when they reach the eighth grade can read on level. How much emphasis is it placed for black boys to go to college? Is it as much emphasis on the girls?
Now it isn't, but it was before.
It's
Black
never
men,
was.
black men decided not to go to college.
No, 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 no. Black men
100%.
were a lot of black men were excluded and barred from college. A lot
And
of
you
black
don't think
men
black
were
women were excluded and barred from college?
no.
Yes,
You were
100%.
you were incentivized. Let's go back.
No.
Let's go back to the '96 crime bill.
Uh-huh.
Black men got 3 strikes and you're out. Black women got welfare reform. A
Do
lot of
you
the women.
realize that 3 strikes and you're out wasn't just for black men? You know, black women got three
But guess
strikes
who
and you're
was
out.
the but guess who was the majority of the people that it affected?
Right, it did. But
So
that
guess
still didn't mean they
what?
didn't have an
You don't
opportunity
have
to
the
go to
right.
college.
You don't have the. It's not the law. It's how you enforce it. Ask me how I know. You do know my background, right?
Which part?
Any of it.
Military?
Military, uh, international freestyle wrestler, police officer, and now I own my own security firm. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you, it's not the law, it's how the law is
So
enforced.
my question is, how were you able to do all that if the law was against you?
I'm an outlier. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm an outlier. Not
No,
every
but
black
my
man.
question was, how did you become an outlier, though?
I'm going to answer your question, right? Black men historically were not being raised to be educated. Even in studies, where black boys were getting excellent grades, their mothers still looked at them as underachievers. Well, he doesn't need to go to college. He needs to just get a trade and just get a job. There have
You
been
know who
many
I hear the
studies by
trade
this.
thing about from now? The funny part about it is I've had plenty of arguments with men about the trades. Men are saying that they shouldn't go to college. Men are saying colleges are useless. They're saying trades are where to go.
Here's the crazy part. If you really want to be optimal, you should have both. But at the same time,
Correct.
here's the reality of it. A lot of women go to degrees in our community. They're not getting degrees in STEM. A lot of it is a lot of debt. When you got a lot of your boys, 10% only can read on level, and there's no, what should be a crime against humanity. And you have a lot of households where the girls are favored over the boys. You don't have black communities when they say, go get your education so you don't depend on a woman. You got to realize it. Like Miss Jackie said, boys not reading is a household issue. If you cannot, we were on Art New Styles show the other day, and he's a professor in college in art, and he's also a high school art teacher. He even said it. You can have all the scholarship programs for young black boys you want. If they can't meet the minimum requirements, what's going to happen?
So that's the overall issue. That's
But
the overall issue.
the overall issue is this: are the boys being pushed to be educated? And the answer is hell no.
But the overall issue is y'all men are leaders, right?
We're in a gynocracy in the black community.
No.
The black community
Yes
is
or
one
no?
player.
Are men supposed to be the leaders of the community?
Men are figureheads in the black community.
So y'all are not leaders?
So let me ask you this one.
No, no,
As
no.
a
You have to
leader,
answer
no,
my
no, I'm gonna
question
answer your
first.
question, right?
No,
I'm
you
gonna
can't
answer your
ask me a
question.
question without
As
answering
a
my
leader,
question.
I just answered it. Men are
No, no.
figureheads.
It's a yes or no question. Are men leaders? Yes or no of the community?
No, it's woman led.
And that's what the overall problem is.
And
Because leaders don't need other people to push them up.
guess who? Guess what? If you wanted to be in charge of your community and you put on the gun belt and said, "I'm going to be the leader," then guess what? The responsibility falls on you. You can't blame the men.
No,
And I mean, this is
but
the same thing.
I'm not
Shout out
blaming
to
the men.
Marcus Aurelius
I'm
because he
not blaming
quoted
the men.
hold on. Let me finish. I'm gonna quote my boy Marcus. Keep it 100. You know, so many women in our community champion being a single mother, but don't be mad at the results of the men you raise. You cannot. I'm gonna tell you what's the first rule of protection. Do you know what the first rule of protection is?
I don't know what rules you're talking about.
It's obedience. Do black men have the ability to punish and reward the women and children of the community?
Yes.
No.
Yes, y'all do. And that's the
No.
problem. Because you don't
How
think you
many
can,
black women
that's
listen
why
to their men?
I do. I know plenty of people
No.
do.
That's not what I asked
No,
you, is it?
I
How
don't have an
many
exact
black
number because I
women
don't know every
do the
woman in the
majority
world.
of black women listen to their men?
The majority of black women are single.
Do they listen to their men? So if by default, the answer will be what? No.
If they're single, they don't have a man to listen to.
So the answer will be no. The black community is very
The
woman.
answer is not no when they don't have a man to listen to.
The answer is no, because if you don't have anything there, it's a big fat zero.
So my question to you is, if men are not the leaders, why should they listen to it?
Because you want to keep us in a traditional
No,
state.
but you're saying men are not the leaders, though.
Let me answer the question. You want men in the black community to still be traditional while you get to be modern women. That does not work.
But majority of women don't want men to be traditional.
Yes,
That's
they
why
do.
you see statistically.
So wait a minute. Hold up. Women want hypergamy, right? Whether they
majority
get it or
of women
not, right?
don't. The numbers say we don't because
No. The numbers say they do.
No, they don't.
Do women still chase the upper echelon of men?
A lot of women do, yes.
So that means they still want hypergamy.
That doesn't mean all women still want hypergamy. That means certain women still want hypergamy, and that means men
80% of women. So 80% of women still chase the top 20.
It's not 80%. I don't know
It
where
is
y'all.
80%.
It's not.
They don't get the results that
you keep giving me data, and I need you to show me where those statistics are.
I'm giving you data. 80% of women chase the top 20%.
Where are you getting those statistics from?
You work in corporate America, do you?
Yes, that's why I'm saying. Where are you
Women?
getting
Let
the
me ask you
statistics
this
from?
question: since you work in corporate America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there more women chasing the guy who delivers the packages in the building or the CEO?
The packages in the
building. The packages in the building.
You know he got that.
Sorry, my boyfriend.
Wait a minute. Are they going to bus boy? Are they chasing the bus boy? Are they chasing somebody who's
women that are making money are chasing the younger men, and
they don't want the younger men. They're paying the younger men. They're not chasing them.
They are going after the. That's what you're missing. You asked me, as somebody in corporate America, what's happening in corporate America. The women that have made a certain threshold are not looking for the money.
They're looking for the money because a woman wants a man that makes more than her.
I'm telling you, it's not true.
It is true. You're talking to a guy who worked in corporate America.
You're talking to a woman that works in corporate America that literally has a man standing right next to her.
I've been around the military, corporate America, and the police department. But the chicks are chasing the higher ranking men.
You're only speaking about the military and the police department. I'm talking about corporate America, like technology.
The only difference from corporate America is from the military. You call one a colonel, the other in the civilian world, you call them a VP.
That's not the only difference.
It's a hierarchical system, is it not?
It is a hierarchical system, but your whole
wait, my boyfriend. Look, my boyfriend's over here. He wants us to respond,
bro. Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You're behind on the ball. My girl makes roughly 120,000. I make 60, bro. So that whole argument you talking about is kind of stupid. A lot of corporate women,
because this is the majority of the argument.
Hold on, fam.
No.
A
You
corporate
said it
woman
was
does not
stupid.
usually
But how
don't want a
many
man on the
women
same
want the
level.
higher earning men? How many
Because-
women want the higher earning men?
Only lower women.
Is it the majority,
women,
or is it the majority of women want a man that makes more than them?
Say, fam. Broke women that don't have the money and don't have the funds, want a
every
man
woman
that has the funds.
Guess what?
Women that have the funds,
so women don't date
care.
so women don't date in their class or higher.
A lot of women don't.
A lot of women do.
A lot of women don't.
A lot of women do, man.
I'm telling you.
Fam.
A lot of women date.
They said, why aren't we married yet? Because we haven't even been dating a year.
Right.
Good job. Good job. Nice try, though.
A lot of women date higher.
Hey, listen, bro. My girl.
Yeah, listen, man.
You want to tell me,
regardless of reality, we're not talking about outliers, and that's the problem.
Not outliers. No.
Yeah, that's an outlier.
So when you call someone an outlier,
majority of women date men that make more than them.
It's not true, though. I'm telling you.
It is very true. Men still make more.
It's not.
It is. Men still make more, even in the black community. Women go to college more, but men still make more in every.
Well, y'all, in the sake of being obedient to my man, I'm gonna get off of here because he wants some attention. So
you have a good night.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Still undefeated. And then she gave me even more fact. You know what's funny about this, folks? This nigga embarrassed himself. Oh, I make 60 and she make 120. Guess what? That's where she ranked. She couldn't get the guy in the corporate America seat. That's the VP. You just gave more validity to what the fuck I said. And you wonder why 7 years running, I'm still undefeated, folks. If y'all want to join, come in. I need some cash apps. I need some super chats. Shout out to my girl, Nina. She was a good sport. Congratulations to her. And I'm still proud of her representing America, getting her silver medal. But guess what? You gave more validity. Women want to get the higher ranking man. A lot of them can't. Meech.
What's going on, bro? Can you hear me clearly?
Yep.
Hey, so
you wonder why in 7-8 years of being up here, I'm still undefeated.
Hey, you saw how she was conflating things, right?
Yeah.
So she was talking about men being leaders. First off, you can't force anybody to follow you.
Nope.
Right? She also said that, and if no one's following you, then you're not a leader. She also said leaders don't need to be pushed up, right? Yes, they do. That's the you're not a leader without support. That support is what pushes you up.
And you're
right?
You're a former military man, right?
Absolutely.
So guess what? A good commander is only good at how his subordinates make him look.
Absolutely.
If I don't give a fuck if you're an NCO, a warrant officer, or an officer. Thank you, Miss Jackie. Can you say that again? The higher ranking man has more options. Period. And
there you go.
Chats real quick. Florida the Flies, what's up? Thank you for the $5. MS Delta guy, my nigga, with the $100. God damn, make him holler. Hold up, folks. We got to do this Slayer shit real quick. God damn, you blessed this nigga.
Salute him right.
Woo!
Get a cigarette back. You too?
My man MS
Yeah.
Delta said most women in corporate America. What men in corporate America that earn more than them? I want the I want higher ranking men. I mean,
Oh man,
shout out to
yo,
Detroit 313. They proved KS's point. Shout out to the Godfather. It's still in our memories, man. Did
yo,
he not?
man, yo, yo, I wish I was up there when that clown came up on the mic talking about, I made $60. She made. How you talking about? Oh man, I love this. I love deciphering the section of the rule because I don't believe this shit. The section of the rule. We could be
Let me put.
deciphered.
No,
I'm, I'm, I'm gonna decipher that shit right now, and I hope he's listening. Like they, and I'm paying attention. Like they said, yo, they haven't dated almost over a year. That means she settled for your ass. She wasn't the top tier chick anymore.
And
And she,
they're out.
I'm gonna tell you.
she settled with her or someone
They're,
lower ranking than
Mel,
she
one at a
is.
time. One at a time.
they're
Finish.
an outlier.
Finish.
They're not the
Finish your
norm.
statement, Mel, and then AL.
Yeah. She settled with someone lower ranking than she is because she wasted the majority of her beauty, if she has it. I don't know if that was a real picture.
That's
And,
her.
and, and the femininity on the wrong guy that wasn't gonna wipe her up that made more than her. And when she tried to have a, I would say, big dick energy than they wasn't dealing with that shit. Can't have two pit bulls in a relationship like that equal mass. No. So you know what happened? Of course she got with someone that makes lower money than she is.
It's
But
called
she
Dude,
has to
you're the bad dude, man. What the fuck?
she has to
And he knows it himself. I got with a woman that made more money than me. That means he ain't gonna push himself to make more money. He's living over her. Match, that's already match made right there. So shit, for all this type of bullshit argument she was making and everything. And another point I wanted to make right there, she was saying and shit like that. The reality about hypergamy. Females look for men that are higher class than they are. And it doesn't matter if she has money or not. They always want someone more than they do. That's what hypergamy is.
You're right, this is the reason why she's not married to him. Because think about it. She knows she got to look her girlfriends in the eye. How much he make, girl? How much you make? Oh, no. That image thing. So, no, that's just a little temporary dick she got standing by. You done been with this man over
Exactly.
been with this man over years. You ain't married him. You know you ready to move on to something bigger and better. He's just a standby piece of cop to knock you down, to keep you feeling good, till you find a better situation. But the way you said, the way she was saying, I was just this woman got more faith in her voice than me. Shit, she
Hey, yo, if I was up, I would have asked her, okay, how old are you? And how old is he? If she's older than him, she already proven my point. Despite such
I'm gonna tell y'all, folks.
Hey,
I'm gonna
so
tell you. Go ahead, Meech. Go ahead, Meech.
hey, so and this thing about hypergamy as well. Hypergamy doesn't mean that the man is paying all of the bills because he may not be able to. What it means though is that he's more capable of paying more of the bills than the guy she might have previously been with. It's called moving upwards. You might make it to where
Exactly.
you might make it to a man that can pay 100% of the bills. You might make it to a man who can only pay 95% of the bills or 90% of the bills. But that's more hypergamous than a man who can only pay 50% of the bills.
Exactly. She always, I've
I'm
heard
gonna
this
say
woman
this,
want,
folks.
want someone that's a higher class than they are. And say, I was looking for the bit. Gold diggers make their own money. And they're the most hypergamous females out there. Yeah, so what is she talking about when it has to do with women making no money? No. What do they always say? My money's my money. His money is my money. That's hypergamy right there.
That's been the age-old trope since the beginning of time, Mel. You, I, Big B, and Charles, we know that. But she wanted to sit up here. Every time he gave her an answer, tried to redirect with three different other answers instead of accepting the answer, answering the question that he
Yep.
asked. That's the shit that got me.
So how do you
But
think I did? Am I still undefeated?
by the power of the
Man,
Almighty goddamn motherfucking leader.
By the power of Grayskull.
Perfect right there.
He had it out.
I want to answer a question too. Also too, she talked about how much percentage of people in a marriage that got married that was paying on a one income. It's technically
You know,
lower than 10%. So
you
there's
know,
your answer, lady.
you know what's funny about that? I answered her question before she answered it. I said 75 to 80% of women have to work. Hypergamy is getting the best deal that you can get.
But didn't I just say that, Charles? Didn't I just say
Exactly.
that?
Yeah.
Which is why we told them 10, 2 to 10% of men make over 6 figures, which most of the women want. That means a small percentage of women is going to be able to get wiped up by those guys and don't have to work. Kevin told them every night with their delusion.
No, man, you keep letting them live that smoked up pipe dream that they living in. They believe that nonsense a little. That's why they
Exactly.
put it away.
Exactly. We telling that every day. Only a small percentage of y'all is going to get with those dudes that's going to pay 100% of the bills. And most of y'all not in your most feminine, submissive nature like that in our community and shit like that. So that's even more smaller.
But
You
you got
gotta
to
stop.
remember,
Every time you invoke those type of words, they just get more mad at Kevin Samuel's grave. Stop it, bro. Stop it.
but you got to remember, right? When I try to tell her about the hypergamy rounds, I'm like, look, shorty, hypergamy is not a man paying all the bills. I even gave her an example. My father, one generation removed, right? He paid what? Damn near 10 times what I paid in rent in 82 when I was born. Almost 10 times more. We have something called inflation. The dollar does not carry. Back in 1982 compared to 2022, if you needed $1,000 now, back in 1982 would have been $3,000 plus. So how the fuck can you realistically say the average man can pay all the bills of a family of 5? Even though still it may be a struggle, but if a man makes more than $50,000, kiss his ass because he's a superhero. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. She's in her late 30s now, right? When she was all dainty and cute when she went to the Olympics to get a silver medal, do you think she would have settled for a $60,000 nigga? Hell no.
No.
This is the whole.
Was the woman on the panel that came up? Was she a single mother?
No, she don't have kids.
But this is
She got no kids.
This is the whole thing in a nutshell. Whatever a man makes is never going to be good enough because they don't want to live within the means of whatever it is a man makes because all they want to do is want the more and more and more. It's simple fact. I'm your husband. Whatever I make should be good enough. And this is what we're going to live off of until I move up to a better situation or into a better situation. But they don't want that. They don't want that.
But you're telling me, right? If the guy wanted you from the VP office and he was coming to check you out, would you still would have picked homeboy?
No, she wouldn't.
You tell. And then here's the bad part about that.
And you know what? Even if they was fucking, she wouldn't want white. 17 women don't want to fucking want to get wiped up by. She probably have him a dick in a drawer. That is it. But she will not show that type of guy off in front of her friends in a classic event and shit.
And here's the sad part, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Afro National. He said all he was talking about his dick. They only prove the matriarchy is alive and well. That's how you know. If all you can value yourself is because of your dick, then you already lost. Because guess what? I never met a woman who made more than her man, and she didn't let her man give her the blues.
You know what? Being that we should have asked him this also too, man. Okay, being that she make more money than you, do she give you her money and she let you have control over it? If you nope. Let's see how much of a man he is in that relationship. Do she give you the brand when she makes?
It's gonna be a whole bunch of crickets.
Shout out to Electrician 480. Whoa, get him, Chuck. You damn right I'm gonna give her. And remember, you gotta give her a hand clap, fellas, because she's one of my Facebook friends who came up and took the challenge. So I gotta be fair and give her credit for that. But still, when I try to give her the answers, women want to get the best possible deal. If you had a guy who was 35, 40 years old,
living every day like she was trying to bring up.
cut like a bag of dope, in shape, making $500,000, and you had to pick, and you talking about well, my lady, she makes this. No real man is gonna brag about what his woman makes. Sorry, they just not gonna do it.
Exactly. That shit is weird as fuck.
I'm not bragging.
I'm like,
Even
okay,
if
she make all this money. Do she give you her money and shit? We get home? Do you got that pimpology energy at home? Nope.
See, this is the
Technically,
problem.
she's the pimp, and he's the damn bitch.
So she's okay being the breadwinner. Because guess what? I'm gonna tell you what the average
she's
woman.
not okay with this. You know she's not okay.
I know she's not. Look what Miss Jackie said. Hindsight will always be 2019.
Exactly.
Like it's funny. This is already we're not even an hour in, and it's already a classic. I need to shorten this shit up and put it down for my shorts or something. And I'm gonna tell you, she walked herself to her own destruction, because when I said this, most women want no. The women who making money don't want bullshit.
Bullshit, man. I just saw a TV interview article about how females making all this money and they still can't get a man. They want to play a game like us men, and it's backfiring. So what is she talking about? Especially the corporate shit. And matter of fact, majority of the past bros fuck with these corporate females, and now you want to wipe them up. I tell you right there on stupid logic and shit. Come on, man.
Let me put it to you this way, right? The fucked up part about it is this. When you know damn well that women have hypergamy, so women are going to settle if they can't get what they got. So you telling me you're in corporate America, right? You didn't get the best possible man out of corporate America, or you just didn't feel like competing for that man in corporate America?
Ooh, say it again. Ooh,
you didn't feel like competing.
Play the truth bomb.
Because what it sounds like to me is that you didn't feel like competing anymore. I mean, I wish them happiness for their relationship. May it work out. Many blessings. But you're gonna have a nigga bragging about his dick, and that's all you can provide.
Charles, hold on. I want you to rewind a little bit, and I want you to eat on what I'm about to say, and I want you to eat hard on these bones and spit them back at it. What did she say? She said, men are the leaders of the community. And then she started with her backpedal. Now go, Charles, go.
Ooh, I wanted to mention that too.
And shout out to F Holiday for the Cash App support. See, you got to realize this. When I told her, she wasn't expecting me to say, no, the men are not the leaders of the community.
Exactly.
She thought that I was going to be like, yeah, we the leaders. I said, how the fuck are we the leaders if the majority of us don't have the kids?
Exactly. That's why I was waiting for you to bring that up with the, you know what I'm saying, where you want men to be leaders of our community.
If you want to see, if you're my Facebook friend, go to my Kevin Samuels, Derek Jackson post, and you'll see our whole conversation. And the reason why I made it protection and rejection, she made the comment that men don't know how to take rejection. Men get rejected all the fucking time. In order for the average man to sleep with 10 chicks, he probably had to approach 100. Some men might go through 100 chicks and only sleep with one.
Oh, let's bring that up also too. Most of the average, even though she want to bring up who's paying most of the bills, most percentage of average men, that means average income, will still pay most of the bills to please the woman.
Yeah.
Just
so you telling me, right? You telling me that he's not catching hell, not making that money? And here's the
No.
crazy part, right? Here's the crazy part. Out of respect, you making six figures. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't wish nothing on that relationship, but from personal experiences and also statistics, when a woman makes more money, relationships do not last long.
No, they don't.
I had a good friend of mine,
They do
one of
not.
my best friends. He was married. He was making more money than his wife. He lost his career and had to start over, which he's doing well now. His first wife was complaining, I got to pay all the bills. Duh, obviously, till I start this other career. And they end up divorcing. So now, even though God doesn't like ugly because she had a stroke, but here's the point. Once that woman doesn't feel like she's being taken care of, women only see you two ways. They either see you as the child or as the man.
Exactly.
Well, shout out to MS Delta again. God damn, it must be payday, boy.
Oh, yep.
Y'all
Thursday.
Oh,
man.
bless you, dude. You must have hit the lotto or something. Charles, sadly, most dubs in corporate America can't compete. I've seen it and experienced it. The Beckys compete on level 100 for the high-level black men. Black women do not compete, which is true. It's
And
true.
matter of fact, when Kevin did an interview with Minister Jack talking about the '90s, he brought up the '90s with the corporate jobs. Almost percent of the black woman was keeping the men out of them shit. And sometimes they even act rude towards the black men. They even realize that's your manager. They kept most men out of them corporate jobs. Most of them chicks was working human resources and all that shit. Because they worked a certain position, they think they're higher up than their own man. I'm a secretary, you know that shit in the office, so they think they're higher up than their own man. Most of them black men walk in the office, you don't even know that's your manager, but that's why I'm happening. Some of them want to be your manager, but you acting rude, don't get that respect. But if it's a white dude, yeah, you fucking kiss his ass and all that shit. Come on with that. And let's bring up the college shit. Most percentage of black men in general, are not going to waste most of their years in college so they can accumulate a high percentage of debt the way your black women are. Or not all women. Do you think Biden's that debt relief law that he was trying to pass, you think that would happen if most percentage of the debt was by the men? No. They have already proven that most percentage of the debt in this country is held by women, especially college debt. And she wants to know certain other statistics. BlackDemographics.com already proven also too.
But here's
80% of the black marriages, are initiated by divorce by black women, and it's mostly because of financial.
Here's the crazy part, fellas and ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Our discussion, if you're my Facebook friend, you can read the whole discussion. She was saying, well, men are killing women at a higher rate.
No, they're not.
I said, yeah, statistically, which means what is being reported. I said the one stat about domestic violence is never fair because men don't report domestic violence in the numbers women do due to social stigma. And here's another bad thing about, here's another thing about domestic violence people don't factor in. Shout out to Dr. T.S.R. Johnson. They don't factor in proxy violence. Women are notorious of having people do violence on their behalf. Cosmic dissidents, anybody? Throwing the rock and then hiding your hand and looking around saying who threw it?
Initiating the shit, getting the man to hit you. You the one that started. Even female officers are saying the same thing you're telling them.
But yeah.
Did you mention about the LGBT community? About they the ones that got the highest domestic violence rate?
Calm down.
I know I'm so excited today with this shit.
I'm gonna get to that. In our conversation on Facebook, she made a statement that if men disappeared, a lot of the violence and women killing would stop. I said if men disappeared, so would your security, your protection, your infrastructure. As a matter of fact, a lot more women will be killed. Why? because the number one domestic violence contributors are lesbian relationships.
Charles, you tripping, Charles. He know good and well she got the woman king and Black Wakanda to protect her and to protect her kind of life. That's why she don't stress on what the shit she say.
That's not going to last as long as they think it is, man. Words.
You know what? Miss Jackie, you're a real one for that comment. She said, Becky be noticing. I smile, I speak, I smile to these men, y'all, of all ages, every morning. It's not about black women competing. They not paying attention. There you go. Black women
Jackie
do
knows
not.
the game, man. She knows the game.
There you
Shout
go.
out to her.
Shout out to the lottery winner, Miss Delta Guy. Quick story. We had an after work holiday party at a nice high end restaurant. The Beckys did the quick clothes change with the hair, the hips, the boobs. The black women were like, why y'all changed? Exactly. You validated what Miss Jackie said. The chicks noticed.
So here's the funny thing about it: if
There you go.
if there's no men in this world,
Hey,
they'd
hey,
be
bitter
twice as
truth.
more violent.
Hey,
If
bitter
they go,
truth. If you get a chance, come on up, bitter truth. Bitter
if
truth
there was
said, I
no
see
men
more
at
stories
all,
about. He said he
if
sees more stories about black women killing other women. Exactly.
exactly,
I
if there
even
was no
told
men in
her.
this world, and for her little fantasy, there'd be twice as more killings with females. They got got emotion like crazy.
I see way more videos about black women killing their kids than black men killing their kids.
Exactly. And the recent situation of the young lady in Mexico already shows that also too, how they double backstab each other. Like she don't realize most females have a very naive mindset, thinking everybody's their friend and all that shit. And look at the people who thought you were a friend, the ones you got by.
Mel, that ain't the only one. Just last week down in Miami, you had a single mom who in a relationship in one of them religious bitch relationships and it went bad, but you're a single mom in a relationship with a woman that's going bad and then your ass be killed. But they want to say, we the cause of domestic violence. No, it's y'all on y'all type shit.
Exactly.
Outlaw 720, which is funny because the first slave that was freed in my family, his last name was Outlaw. At Bitter Truth Facts, it's the base problem with relationships in the black community. These ran through single mothers still think they're above working class black men. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say the problem with it? She tried to say, well, there's a lot of men who don't know. Men always have to know where they stand. We don't even bother women who are out of our league. We may look and be like, damn, if I got the chance, yes, sir. But we don't even
Exactly.
bother them. And
We
here's
understand our pecking order. They will never admit to what a pecking order is for them. They think they can rise above it at any time, in any situation. They can be the bottom of the bottom, coming out the ghetto, 3 kids deep. Oh, I'm gonna get me that basketball husband so I can be a basketball wife because
I
I
bet
like
you
watching basketball wives.
even the chef, even the chef was fine at our Thanksgiving party. Our Christmas party is next week. I'm gonna tell you one thing I noticed when they said the reason why we're not married is because we haven't been dating for a year, or less than a year. I said, I bet you one thing. If he made $500,000, guess what? You would try to marry his ass in 6 months.
My guess is he was Derek Jackson her ass. No, she done upgrade. Shit.
That nigga over there hoping upon hope that she married his ass. He over there hoping upon hope that she married his ass because he know he's trying to get that lottery ticket sewn up.
Shout out to LAP Spot. He said, Colonel F, educate her on your travels to the third world in regards to women and male protection and etc. Spent time overseas, most of the world is still uncivilized. Facts. See, she's an Olympian, and I'm actually proud of her for that. She actually carried herself well with dignity, in Taekwondo and won an Olympic silver medal. Can't knock her for that. I always tell her I'm proud of her. We argue like a motherfucker online, but salute to her because I actually have more respect for her because she came up here, and I think people should give her that much, at least. And she wasn't obscene. She might have been trying to overtalk sometimes, but she wasn't obscene. So I give her credit for having manners. The craziness about it is that look, I've never seen a woman that's okay with a man less than her. And then I'm not gonna put my woman's business out of how much she makes a year in corporate America because I never even and have you ever noticed I never even asked? I didn't ask. So what's the well, I'm okay with it. Of course you okay, because you don't have to fit the bill, nigga. you gotta
Let's put it this way, Charles. There's gonna be some video O'Shea did of this chick who talked about she having a hard time trying to have sex with her husband, and God took the sexual desire out of me and shit like that and everything, right? The reality is that chick used sex to get with the top tier man that she wanted, and she's trying to erase the dick energy from that first guy that she desired, was in love with, and he didn't wipe her up. So she went to different guys to try to see if she could match that same dick signature or even better, but it didn't work out that way. So the husband she's with now, she's not sexually attracted to him. My point is, these are females are, especially when it comes to situations. Let's use her situation with the money situation. Like I said, she couldn't get with the guy that she really wanted, so she had to settle with the other guy to make less than what she wanted. That ain't gonna last very long. All the fact is, she's gonna have to be content with the shit that, yo, I'm not hot like I used to be. But most females ain't gonna admit that shit. I make more than this dude. I gotta settle. And unfortunately, deep down inside, I don't really want him, but like, fuck it, I'll deal with him for the minute. Either she gonna wait for him to divorce her, because we see that with Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, the science teacher. That marriage didn't work out no more. Because at the end of the day, it already shows what type of woman she is.
Yep.
And she's the richest woman of the U.S.
But go ahead, Bitter Truth.
Go ahead, Bitter Truth. What's good?
Get your word in.
How y'all doing? Everybody on the panel.
Hey, Bitter, how much did you hear?
Okay, first and foremost, hello everyone on the panel and in the chat.
What's good, brother?
What's up?
Talk your
Hope
shit,
everybody
man.
had a good day. Wake up and go to sleep.
That should be a t-shirt.
Here's my thing, because I wanted to talk about this. I've been meaning to do these videos for a minute.
Talk your shit, man. Talk your shit.
I asked the question. I know everybody asked, well, those that are sub to me. I asked the question. I asked women, how do you intimidate men? And I said, okay, tell me how you intimidate men, and then tell me what type of men were they? Like, what did they do for a living? Did they live? Where did they live? Was their father in their lives? What type of mother do they have? And women couldn't answer those questions. One woman came to me and said, well, men say I have an intimidating walk. And I was like, oh, so you walk hard. And then she said, well, they were also intimidated by she said they were intimidated by her intelligence because they never listened to her when she gave them the correct answers, even though she brought receipts, and they didn't respect her degrees. And I'm like, okay, so basically, because I'm breaking it down, I heard what she said, and I broke it down. I was like, so basically, you thought that because you had a degree that you were smarter than everybody. I was like, let me tell you the difference between having a degree and having intelligence. Like, you can be an auto mechanic. You can go to school for mechanics. Let's say you go to school to be an auto mechanic for General Motors, and you can know the book inside and out, and never touch a car. But you would have to have the unmitigated gall to walk into a 20-year physical mechanic shop with the busted knuckles and, grease and stains everywhere and whatnot, and try to tell him how to do his job.
Can you say that again for the niggas in the back? Because for some reason, I had a bunch of rookies through the years tell me that, well, I know how to police, but then you don't even know how to circumvent the law to your favor or write a person out of it or save your own life. Please say that again, bit of truth.
Or better yet, how to deal with a drugged up suspect with a knife outside of wanting to shoot the guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like you don't know. You can say that you've read this and read that all you want to, but until you put it into practice on several occasions, let me tell you, that's why when people go to college, when they get a job, this is why they make you intern. So that way, the guy will tell you everything you learn in college, you can throw that shit right out the window. This is a whole different ball game outside of what you learned in school. Practicality is where it's at. Like, let me show you how we do things here. You know?
I'll already say this, bitter truth. Highly educated doesn't equal highly intelligent.
Yeah, that's 100% right. That's 100% fact. Even a guy who was dropped out of school at the 3rd grade can be smarter than somebody that got several degrees, okay, simply because of his applied science. If that makes any sense.
It makes total sense. You know, you got a lot of guys out there who swept the floors of a college and smarter than the PhDs.
You know what? You saw that on remember, okay, you remember Malcolm in the Middle?
Mm-hmm.
That's how that show ended. Yeah. Malcolm was going to school at Harvard, but working his way through school as the janitor.
Exactly. And see, people don't understand this because what Bitter Truth is talking about is theory versus practice. That's why you have a practicing lawyer, a practicing physician, a practicing law enforcement officer. Like this is how I knew a lot of shit was flying over those people's heads. And God bless them in their relationship. When I told her, and call me on my bullshit if I'm right or wrong. The only difference,
Sorry, I said you're wrong. Chat over. No, go ahead.
I know. Call me if I'm right or wrong. But the only difference between corporate America and the military and police department is that you call somebody captain, major, colonel, when you have a VP of this, an assistant of that. That's the only real difference, and we wear uniforms and have guns.
It's a command structure. Both entities have a command structure. They have the same command structure.
So you can tell me you worked in corporate America. That doesn't faze me because I worked in a corporation too. It's called the United States Military and the Baltimore Police Department.
We got to shoot people.
Yeah, they're both hierarchical structures. And they're like, no, it's not the same. How would you know? Where do you think corporate America got their structure? The military.
Charles, there's something I want to talk to you about.
Go ahead.
And if there's anybody else here, Mel, Al, have you guys ever owned a business?
Own one now.
Right, I know you do, but I'm asking them too if they've ever owned a business.
AL's an owner-operator.
Okay, so he definitely knows.
Yeah, I'm working on mine right now with my licenses and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you haven't really all right, so I'm gonna tell you right now, Charles.
I have experience before, but I didn't push hard at it the way I was supposed to. So it's like I'm restarting it over. It's fine.
Not but just so you know, this is what you're going to experience as soon as you start being successful. Okay, you're going to run into a lot of parasites.
Oh yeah.
You're going to run into a lot of parasites. You're going to run into a lot of people with their hand out. And here's my thing. I do not mind taking care of people, but there has to be some reciprocity. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. All right? You do not say an unkind word about me. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all, but you should have something nice to say considering how I scratched your back. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's just That's just professionalism, man.
Right. And this is the problem. This is the problem with the business of being black, is that there's very little reciprocity amongst us. This is why you get a Dion leaving to go to Colorado, and this is where you get people like Dr. Umar talking down about that. And my thing is, and this one thing, this whole situation has really exposed me to the fact and the bitter truth that we have a lot of men who have taken on the characteristics of their single mothers.
Say that shit again for
You know, because the simple fact that you're pocket watching and penis policing another man, another black man, especially one who is doing better than you.
Say it again.
Tells me a lot. You cannot sit here and talk about what somebody else is doing with their money when you have done absolutely nothing in return. That whole situation, look, I mean, I don't mean to look, I can go into the Dr. Umar situation or I can leave it alone.
You could go into it. I mean, go, because it all.
Okay, here's the situation. You got a guy who got 2 baby mamas.
What?
Okay, who probably cannot work in the public school system. All right, he'll have to go into the private sector. Clearly, he doesn't want to. He's making money off of his donations and his lecture. That's how he's surviving. Probably sleeping at that school. Who knows? And here's a couple of things that he needs to produce when asked. Because instead of shitting on Dion, you should have been calling them up saying, "Hey, congratulations. You see, I'm trying to help these brothers and teach them not to do what happened to you out at Jackson State. I'm trying to teach them responsibility along with X, Y, and Z. Can you help me out?" But that's not what he did. And I would ask him flat out, like, do you know why Dion was able to go into Walmart and all of these other places and get stadiums, the grass done, and suits and locker rooms and airline contracts and all that stuff? I was like, it's not just because he's Deion Sanders. It's because when he walked into the meeting, he had an accountant and a lawyer on either side of him, if not several. And they sat down and they talked numbers, they talked business, because the only thing a corporation would want to know is, how does me donating to you benefit me as a corporation?
Yep. If it don't, so let me ask you this question real quick before you continue. If it don't make dollars, then what?
It don't make sense.
Don't make sense.
It don't make sense. So that field that Walmart put in, tax write-off. The suits Michael Strahan donated, tax write-off. The airline flights and whatnot, tax write-off. These are tax write-offs because you can actually show that you donated to a college, which is considered a
public entity,
charitable donation, because it's a public school.
And it's a good write-off, and it's a public college, and it's a public entity, and you donate that money. See, a lot of y'all don't understand. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody here understands, because I actually have rather intelligent subscribers. That tax write-off is worth more money than anything else. That's how those corporations keep their money.
They shelved that Batwoman, Superman, that female Superman movie and all that stuff. They shelved them because they'll make more money on the tax write-off than they would have putting that movie out in the box in the theater.
Yep.
Yeah, they made more money on the tax write-off. But getting back to the Umar situation, one of the main reasons I say that that school, the day that he opened that school, he'll probably shut it within 6 months, if not sooner. I say over under 6 months, because number one, you need to show people your books. Let's see your board of directors. Let's see the teachers that you have on staff. Let's see your books as far as your budgets and everything and your accounting, all of that stuff. And let's see your pre-sign-ups, because this is supposed to be a private school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let me see your pre-sign-ups. Because if you don't have any pre-enrollments, then what the hell? You're just you're pretty much opening the door to an empty building.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're opening the door to an empty building. And what he's finding out is that, you know, you cannot always depend on your people. Your people don't always treat you fair. That's Dr. Umar Johnson. You would think that if he hired black HVAC people, they would come in there and do the man right. What did he say on the Breakfast Club? He had to hire white folks, and the white folks did in 3 months what it took the black people that they didn't do in 3 years.
Yeah.
But you cannot sit there and say that and talk crap about what Dion's doing. I don't see the difference, you know, especially considering how it's going to cost you. Okay. He was, like I said in the Erroneous Facts video, he asked what black athlete has opened a school and not a charter school. He mislabeled the school that LeBron James is helping out as a charter school. It's not a charter school. It's a public school. And LeBron has pretty much the same thing that your boy Umar is trying to have. You know how much it costs to to fund that public school yearly? Guess. Hello? Hello? Nobody got nothing?
5 mil.
8. He was close. $8 million a year. How the hell, Umar, you gonna run a private school when you can? The most you've raised is $500,000 at one time, and that was what took you almost 8 years to get that. Took you almost 8 years to get $500,000. Dude, you should have been. Look, if after 3 years, when you saw that the progress was super slow, you should have been done with it. Should have been done with it. But you know, I get it. He's gonna be able to. Give me one sec. Give me one sec.
I'm gonna let you finish. I just want to interject on this.
I just got one sentence. At the end of the day, all he want to do is to be able to pound on his chest and say that he did something. Now go ahead.
Facts. Real talk. If he was so gung ho and hell bent on starting his own school, instead of him hating on the Breakfast Club, talking about Dion, he should have called Dion. Dion, how did you start your private school? How did you get it going?
That's what I said. Should have called him. Should have called me and talked to him.
Because I believe Dion's school was much more of a success, and LeBron James' school is much more of a success than Dr. Umar's idol child.
Yeah, because first and foremost, ain't nobody look when he did. Y'all remember that interview he did with that fat lesbian with the son? She was supposed to be a conscious chick.
Yep.
Yeah. When she sat up there and told him, I'm not sending my son to your school, he should have folded up his tent right then and there. Because how you gonna sit up here? You supposedly, as Dr. Umar Johnson, you're supposed to be on a conscious radio show with a black woman. She ain't sending her kid to Africa with you, and she ain't sending her kid to your school. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the collective. You can sit up there and pander to black women all you want to. You can kiss their ass and Derek Jackson them all you want to. These freaking pro-black sisters ain't got no money like that. Because if they did, you'd have had it already. You said you are no different than fucking Creflo Dollar to me. Except you trying to pimp blackness instead of Jesus.
Hello.
You know, flat out, like, man, stop. You always got a tongue lash of a black man, you know, giving them a compliment sandwich, but you never do that with the sisters. You sit up here and say you don't like light skin. You sit up here and say you don't like interracial relationships, but you sure want to stick your dick in the light skinned sister.
And this coming from the ancestor and the descendant of Frederick Douglass. How you even belittling black men? Period. When you love to pronounce and put your uh, distant relative on high. How you think he would be looking down at you right about now for the buffoonery and clownery shit that you doing, Umar? But I digress.
I just work here, bro. I'm no longer in charge. I just work here. And I swear to God, as much as I love my people, I have come to the conclusion that it's over. It's over. I've been meaning to. I'm gonna talk about this probably. If not, I'll probably talk about it tomorrow, Charles. But I've got to. I owe y'all an apology. I owe Black society an apology.
Why, babe? Why?
It's my background. It's my background. I feel that part of it is my fault. Well, it's my family's fault, but it's just like with Dion leaving JSU, and Charles, you're probably going to find out about it. Is that when you step away from one project and you expect people to carry on your legacy? This is why when fathers, when they own a business, they make their children work at the business. They make them understand. They try to get them to understand that this is what feeds you. This is what pays the bills. When you see all of those, like I used to watch Kitchen Nightmares, with all these privately owned restaurants, and it's like you got two problems. One, you got disinterested offspring, and two, you got a stubborn owner / father, mother, whatever, that don't want to change with the times. It has to be your way or the highway. So you'll find out that if you're smart and your business is successful, if you don't change with the times and you don't instill a sense of pride and ownership into the business with your children by actually listening to them, like, hey, what are the kids eating now? You're on the Instagram. What do the social media? What do you guys like now? What's the snack food or whatever? What's the dining experience like? And then you adapt and change to that, listening to your kids. That way your kids feel more invested because they feel that they're being listened to, that the restaurant is now suiting people who are of their age who will come in, and then your kids can stun on them like, oh yeah, Bobby, yeah, this is my restaurant. Yeah, my dad's in the back, whatever. Or he's left the business to me. Therefore you keep the legacy going. But because a lot of business owners don't do that, all right, and they don't train up anybody else behind them, what happens is the business goes to shit. And it's over. And that's what's going on with Dion. It's not even with his kids, but it's just because the president of Jackson State was such a self-absorbed, narcissistic jackass that he didn't learn anything. He didn't learn shit. So now Jackson State is getting ready to go on the decline almost immediately.
We're about our traditions and our rituals around here, boy. We ain't about this new progress. But we'll take your progress and money, though.
Yeah, we'll take your progressive money, but we'll throw it into the band. We'll throw it into the discretionary funds where suddenly now the president, he got his roof fixed after saying, where the hell am I gonna get $6,700? All of a sudden now he got the money. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden now his wife is driving a brand new car. Some of the assistants are running around with brand new clothes and stuff. People that handle the money. That's why I was saying, like, this is the beauty of it, and also the sad part of it is that when Deion Sanders did that interview and he talked about how they were stealing the ticket money, what he did was he put the federal government on high alert to go and the IRS to go and comb through the books of Jackson State.
And come January, February, they coming to look. Trust that.
Oh yeah, they definitely coming to look, because it's not like they didn't. It's not like they didn't hear that interview. The Deion Sanders was a national story, if not worldwide, but definitely a national story. Everybody was paying attention to that. Nobody even knew he did a 60 Minutes interview until it was brought up, till he brought it up. Did you know he did a 60 Minutes interview?
Yes, sir, I did. I've been on top of this just like you. I've been knowing.
I mean, when they aired it.
Yeah.
You saw it when they aired it?
Yes, sir. And I've been watching the replays.
I didn't even know. I was watching him because I really don't watch TV unless it's football.
It's pertinent to you, I understand.
Right. So it's like I was watching on YouTube and then he mentioned the 60 Minutes interview, so I pulled it up. I didn't even know he did one.
It disturbed you when you watched it, did it? It
was disturbing.
I know.
Very disturbing. It was very disturbing because what you like I'm saying to Charles, those parasites, them fucking blood suckers and vampires, they coming. I guarantee you gonna have you had labor problems yet? Is he around?
He probably stepped away for a few.
He's somewhere taking a poop. But when you get labor problems, and I mean labor problems that can cost you your business, where they done body slam the wrong person or something like that. The wrong person got pepper sprayed, something like that, where people all of a sudden now want to file suit. Woo! You want to do the woo? The Ric Flair woo? Yeah, okay. Wait till that shit show up wait till the process server comes knocking.
Our people. What we gonna do with our people, babe? Real shit.
Let's see. Well, sadly, Jackson State admin effed it up. A prophet is not welcomed in his own community. Exactly. You know what? I was in the car. I was saying to myself, I was like, even Jesus, fictional white Jesus, tried to give power to the people. And look how they betrayed him. Look how they betrayed him. They let him get killed. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Black Panthers, what's the Black Panther that got murdered in his bed? Fred Hampton. You try to do something good for your people. Your people don't protect you. They don't show reciprocity. Which is why the Black Panthers wound up having to sell drugs in the neighborhood, so they could get weapons. That's what brought them down. As far as what we're gonna do about it, look, I am not about necessarily giving up on my folks, but I am 100% behind the each one teach one. And the only way you're gonna be able to teach your children, because you have to teach the younger generation. And the only way you're going to be able to affect the children is you're going to have to be able to affect your own children. And heaven help you if your children do not live in your house. Because if you only dealing with them like 2 or 3 days out of the week, you have to counter what's going on in their brain skulls, what's being piped into their head for those 4 other days. So you're losing a day every week, if not 2-3 days every week. Am I making sense here?
Absolutely. Right.
So they'll hear you. It's just like this. You can teach a kid 2 + 2 = 4. No problem. Okay? They're not going to use it unless they have to. Hopefully you can affect them in that type of way. But overall, because it's so easy to do something stupid and do the wrong thing, this is where you sit. This is where you sit. In all honesty, I think we need a culling. I think we need a culling. I think we need a culling of the herd. We need a culling of the herd, but that's not going to happen. So, in all honesty, and this is as far as where I see the quote unquote beauty of the Passport Bros, is that they realize that the American Black society is highly dysfunctional. There is no recovery of it. So they're packing their bags and they're bouncing. Because in all honesty, as a black man, you were supposed to left with Marcus Garvey.
They was too busy pulling us by our bootstraps, telling us no, don't leave them, but take their bullshit. We finally woke up. It's took a few decades, but I'm proud of black men because they are woken up and they are walking away and divested. But in turn, babe, you see, just like I do, just like Charles and Mel, how they bitching. They bitching every day in these TikToks and they bitching every day in these shorts. How y'all done us wrong. How could y'all? No, what do you mean, how could we? We took this shit from the 1960s until now, man. Until now. What the fuck you?
1930s.
Yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
further back.
I was trying to be nice, babe. I was trying to be nice, but you correct, 1930s. But
Yeah,
look,
90 years.
look, was you here? I don't know if you was listening to back when Charles asked. He said, "Well, what about these boys in they reading? Nothing. She had nothing. You know, y'all are our first teachers, but y'all sit back on your hands with them fat asses, knowing good and well you supposed to teach these boys to read and keep them reading and reading in your face every day. But you don't want these boys in your face every day because you about kicking it, getting high, smoking weed, drinking, flirting, wearing provocative clothing, and happen to be seen. Your life is a materialistic life, black female. You're not worried about the inclusion of the community and these children.
Why do
They
you think
do.
that's how you got black men hating on other black men who
Yeah,
are doing better than them?
Hey, what's
exactly.
up, AL? What's up, AL? What happened to Charles?
Oh,
He's around. He just
he's
probably in the phone.
he's at home washing his tights.
Can I ask a question? Right, I don't know how
Oh,
far I
wow, that
am.
went right over everybody's head. I'll be damned. Anyway, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I had a
I don't know
phone
how.
call.
Yeah, I don't know how far I am behind in the conversation. Right? Hello.
Yes,
You
sir.
hear?
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I just want to talk. Like, I heard somebody say something about culling. Is you talking about like you do animals?
Yes, that's exactly what he's speaking of. Cutting them from the
Oh
hood.
man.
I said
Cutting
it.
them from the
Look,
hood.
wait. I said it needs it, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this because I know y'all been talking and y'all went through the whole Dion thing. I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna bring it together of the earlier conversation I had on the show. Somebody has a lot of background noise, but let's see something. But I see a problem, a correlation of education, black boys, and women complaining about not finding good men. You got to look at this shit really and really think about this, right? When I knew something was wrong as soon as Homeboy came up here because he tried to do the black woman should have checked me. And I'm like, dude, you're embarrassing yourself. I'm like, you saying, well, no, they ain't trying to get those guys up there. They get a guy when all he wants some dick. One of the biggest issues I have with black men is that all you think of yourself is just dick.
But
That's
Charles, that's all they've been taught. So come on now. I mean, before we absolutely jump down their throats, who are our first teachers in society? We keep
it's,
getting away
it's
from that.
allegedly the mothers, but guess what? When you teach a person to be a goddamn heathen, you're not being taught much, are you? And here's the question,
Absolutely.
like I said, AL, when I asked her, how can we, when in this community, when we talk about the men, who's teaching them? Are we being taught to be studious? Are we being taught to be rebellious? Or are we taught to be delinquents? So when I look at it and like she tried to say, well, men don't take rejection, I said being a man is a life of rejection. I've known women to get jobs over men because they felt as though she needed to take care of family. They didn't give a fuck that the black man needed to take care of his family. They felt the poor black woman. I even told her during 96, and this is when she really fucked up. The 96 crime bill, we got 3 strikes and you're out. You got welfare reform. So guess who got to college, even though majority of them were not smart enough to go?
Guess who
Black
got the
women.
government job? Guess who
All
got
right, so don't you talk about the most educated. Don't you talk about the
and,
most educated.
and
Most
then
enrolled.
The most
the most enrolled?
enrolled,
That's it. But here's
the
the
most
problem.
enrolled,
Here's
and the most
another.
in depth.
Yep, the most in debt and most enrolled. But here's another issue
And an HBCU.
and here's another faulty issue that she fell upon, because God knows she walked into her destruction when she was speaking to me. She said, "Well, 3 strikes and you're out wasn't it wasn't only for black men, but who did it specifically was designated towards? Remember,
Black men.
black men."
Targeted black men.
I said, so
I
it's
haven't
not
heard any large percentage of females going to jail for the 3-strike rule.
exactly.
So
And I told her this. I said, ask me how I know. She was like, what, military? I said, military, international wrestler. See, I respect the fact that you went to the Olympics. The only reason I didn't go to the Olympics for wrestling is sponsorships. If I could just wrestle and get paid to do it and show this brand of energy drink here, Gatorade there, shoe here,
Wear
been up
some
there,
Nike socks.
wear some Nike socks. I mean, here's the factoid, right? And I respect her for that. She's a champ. She's a good sport. You're saying something that historically we know who it was targeted. Then on top of that, you didn't even get. This is the reason why when they say black men and black women don't have the same experiences. You got to be educated even when you didn't qualify. You get hiring preferences because all of y'all in HR, y'all took over the court system. You took over HR. You took
Plus,
over.
you're a double minority in
Yeah,
hiring.
double
They're a double
minority.
minority. You don't work the hard jobs that men will. And I kept telling her, I said, look, you really going to tell me that we put an emphasis on educating our boys? Who is going to, I said, how many times you heard a black boy growing up, his mother telling him or his father, go get an education so you don't have to rely on no woman. But then you have your dude come up there and say, I make 60,000, she make 120. I said, so she settled. I'm
No,
like,
no, he didn't settle. He didn't settle, Charles. I'm a catch.
but you're gonna catch hell when you with a woman who make more than you. Nobody figures that shit out. You with a
Fellas,
woman, you with a woman that makes more than you, you catching hell. That's the only catch you're gonna get.
Charles, fellas, I'm gonna sum this up real quick. And any woman listening, if you can hear me in the sound of my voice, you put a 1 in the chat when you to answer this question. Yes, 2, no. Right now, offshore oil drillers are making a base of 71,000 to start. Any takers, black females? Don't worry, we'll wait. Like I thought, you don't want to do no real work. You just want a man to toil and soul this earth, so you can leech off of him like a buzzard, picking off a dead carcass.
Well, this is the issue that women don't seem to understand. It's like, number one, your role in society is not that of a man's. Men, they die maintaining society. The construction, the maintenance of electrical grids, all the oil pipelines, all of that stuff.
Sorry, Dave. I normally don't cut you off.
Go
But
ahead, sir.
guess what she said to me on Facebook?
What?
She said if all the men disappeared, all the killing of women would stop. I said no.
I heard that part. Yeah, I heard you when you said that.
I said all the killing would actually continue. More so because lesbians beat each other's asses and kill each other at the highest of domestic violence rates.
The only thing that stopped the murder is that somebody's called the police.
Exactly. And
They show up to two women combating each other, and Charles, I'm pretty sure you can say it. When you walk up on the scene where two women are fighting, you have to look at it as mutual combat, because even though one girl may be bigger than the other, you're like, well, shit, y'all both chicks.
It's funny because you still got to treat a domestic like a domestic, but they try to outwoman each other. Like,
right.
You got a whole fade and shit, and damn near growing chin hair. You try to tell me you want me to treat you like a chick. See, women want to pick and choose when they can be men.
There's
all
no.
the
I
time.
said it again.
All
Women
the
want to
time.
pick and choose. They want to be men. You going to
All
get
the
in
time.
there with your nigga, and you going to tell me, well, no, a woman who making her own money don't care about a nigga's money. When did that happen? I bet you some long dick, built, muscle bound nigga making $5 million a year come to your chick and he come to your trap, take over your trap. Fuck that.
Shit, he probably don't even need the money.
Don't even need the money. Yeah, why you think so? Derek Jackson could be ass broke, and it's gonna be some corporate bitch fucking him and paying him to do it.
You know what? This okay. I need to do this separately, but I'm gonna do it here. I want to put to bed the whole what do you bring to the table question, because that question should only be reserved for whoever's name is the principal on the lease. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right. If you're moving into my house, be you man or woman, I can afford to ask that question because you're coming to partake in my resources. My house, my lights, my gas, my cable, my. So what are you bringing in reciprocity to this situation? And as a man, you should not be living under any woman's roof unless it's temporary, because both of you are saving up money to get your own spot together where your name is the principal on the lease. But the only reason why you actually doing that is because either her place is cheaper, closer to where you work, or nicer than yours. One of the three. One of the three. And you better be out of there, out of that situation with no less than 4 months. Because normally around 3 months is when she gets sick of your shit and she starts seeing you as her mother saw her brother, or her boyfriend, or whoever that was living up under her roof while she was growing up. Am I making sense here?
As a child.
Yeah, you gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta think about it, man. Like, even with that conversation about her talking that shit about and the boyfriend getting up there,
Get a little
I'm like,
closer. Get a little closer. Charles. Charlie.
Oh, you need to get a close to the mic.
Woo-hoo. Warden Smithers.
Yeah,
y'all hear
not
me?
really. You ain't shit, baby.
Y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
that's
can
a
hear
lot
you now,
better.
but I just gave Beta, he ain't shit award a while ago. He know.
I had to take the I had to take the
I called you
Wi-Fi
Warden.
off because I
I
left
called you
y'all.
Warden Smithers.
When I Smithers, Mr. Burns,
No,
Mr.
no,
Burns.
not that Smithers.
But nah,
Oh,
it's funny. Oh,
Demolition Man. Warden
oh
you ain't
no.
Smithers.
shit, baby. You ain't
Oh
shit,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, go for
I need to die by hair sick. But nah, it's funny because a single mother. I'm not bragging on no bitch's money. I remember my ex-girlfriend bought some used Jaguar, and she like, I wanted to surprise you. Bitch, I ain't driving. You ain't surprising me. Like, I'm not bragging. The fuck am I brag on your shit for? They don't do that. You telling me? I bet you he does whatever she wants. He can't pull no man card. And first of all, I don't care how sweet of a chick is. When y'all get into an argument, she's your demands, or you argue with her, the words "the fuck you mean" comes out of her mouth real quick. You don't even pay no bills here. Mm. And you know how women make you feel real small. I mean, microscopic. Uh, you think you doing something?
Shit, you better pay that fucking rent. You better pay. You better pay. If you ain't paying the rent, you better at least pay the utilities.
My last.
You breaking up, Charles?
And I was like saying, all you need is that chick to one time disrespect you. Y'all get into an argument. You think that fucking I make double what you make shit ain't gonna come out of her mouth?
when the only time a man give a fuck about a woman's money is when he's trying to spend it.
Exactly. So hint, hint, nod, nod. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, why would you come up here? Why would you come up here and embarrass your girl like that? Your girl let you embarrass yourself because I heard him give her answers. Like nigga, it's a microphone. It enhances the fucking sound.
Didn't even have the good sense to mute himself first or cover the mic.
Like, nigga. I'm like, and then when you got up there, let me put it to you this way, bro.
You breaking up again.
I'm like, but let me tell you something. Nigga, you can't tell. I'm like, nigga, you can't tell me shit. Your girl most likely probably had a degree to work for. Yeah, let me get out of this space. I said, most likely your girl, I didn't need a woman shit because guess what? Take money out the equation. Since you think a whole billion women, do you know? And I said this to black women. The reason why men were put on earth first is to get ready to protect you from the number one thing that causes women harm. It's themselves. We got to protect the kids from you. We got to protect you from yourself. Like, think about it. She was like, well, men get frustrated and attack women. It is very rare a man's going to attack a woman because he didn't get her phone number.
She
Most
been
men are
watching
like,
too
if
much
you don't
Color
want to know,
Purple. She been
what
watching
about
too
your
much
friend?
Color Purple.
Yeah, like I told her on Facebook, I'm like, you got several examples of women when men try to break up with them, they're hitting them with their cars, they're shooting them, they're stabbing them. Even when they allege that the nigga is cheating and he's not, they stab him, they poison him. I'm like, well, and then when I gave her the article that I put in my community tab, 70% of the time, men are the victims of domestic violence. But here's the kicker. Men don't fucking call the police like women. So it could
Hey,
be
Charles.
a dramatically high. Go ahead, babe.
The first time I went to jail, first time I got arrested, I broke up with my girlfriend. She attacked me. She even stabbed me in the shoulder with an ink pen while I was talking to the daycare people, explaining to them why the kids were late as I'm bleeding from my face and arms and whatnot. She came up behind me and stabbed me in the shoulder with an ink pen.
Wow.
Right in front of the social workers and shit.
Wow.
I got arrested. Because back then, when they came for domestic violence, they just took the man regardless of what
Oh
was
yeah.
going on.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I got
No
arrested.
questions
But
asked.
but yet you the fucking victim of it.
Yeah,
Here's
I
the
was the
shit that I
victim of
try.
it. Right.
Here's the shit that I try to explain to her. In Baltimore, we have a place called the House of Ruth for battered women. Where's the men's equivalent? And men don't even call the police. It's about what, 20 to 80? It's probably like fucking the other way around if men start calling.
The
There's a
one matter
lot
of
of
fact, the
there's
two times I did, they got rid of the woman. Matter of fact, one of them was an ex-girlfriend. She got arrested that night. You know why she got arrested? Because she didn't move her ass when the cop told her to get the fuck out of my apartment. He told her several times. She wanted to try and argue, fuss, and fight, so he slapped the cuffs on her ass. She spent the night in jail. Of course, I dropped the domestic violence charges because she had 3 kids at home, and you know,
Hey, you were supposed to feel nothing.
I understand that, but this woman almost had 2 of my children at that time, so
Okay,
it was
understandable.
plus understand I was like 27.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
was still young.
okay, but I have
And her and I,
to
it
ask
was
you
like,
this as a man, babe. I have to ask you this as a man. Flip that script. Would she have pressed charges on you? You know it. She would have sent you to the who scale if it was the other way around.
if I would have been doing what she did, hell yeah, she would have sent me. But do understand, when that cop slapped them cuffs on her when she was in the car, I told her, I said, you should have took your ass home.
Yeah. But guess what?
You
That's
should
and
have
I'm
took that
glad you
home.
I'm glad you said that because so many women think that there's no consequences for them to do fucked up shit.
Hello.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they grew up with people saying, how many times if you guys had sisters, older or bigger, your sister slaps the shit out of you, you retaliate, your mother quit. Don't hit your sister. How many times that men were raised not to hit women and get fucked up by women? And then the mothers want to fight the girl. You told your boy to be a punk for you told him to be a man but be a punk for females. You can't make this shit up. But yet you allow your daughters to get away with some of the most vile shit. Like I told everybody, my son was suspended for whooping this girl's ass for spitting in his face. And I told the principal at the parent teacher conference, I condone every action he took. And I said, I'll be damned if one of you people tell me right now that you wouldn't react the same damn way if somebody spat in your face.
What they say? Nothing.
They shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
But
I
then
said
they
they
went
shut the
back to the policy rule book on them. But the policy says, Mr.
I
Falk,
said fuck up. I told him get the fuck away from a policy. I said if I spit in your face right now, what would you do? You would be fucking be hot. So I don't. The only thing I told my son where he was wrong at, you don't go back and forth with an idiot because from a distance nobody can tell the difference. He did everything right he was supposed to, was walk away from the bitch. But guess what? Here's another factoid. Where was the teacher when them two were arguing to break it up?
Oh, well, they don't get involved anymore because if a physical altercation breaks out, they might like accidentally harm a student by squeezing them too hard or pushing them away, and that could
they
bring a
don't want to
lawsuit.
be held liable. They don't want to be held
Yeah,
liable.
But guess what?
exactly. They can be held
Here's
liable.
my shit. Like I told them, I said I even told them I have no control over these fucking females because it's predominantly a female high school. And I said you have no control over them. There's no true consequences y'all give these broads. But yet you want to. I said I have no qualms about my son going upside her damn head. And from the video, he did a good job. I bet you she'd think twice spitting on him again. Not only did he actually knock her down with a 1-2, he was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dad. I put her in a damn triangle choke, and I wasn't gonna let go till she passed out." I said, "Hey, I understand.
Hey, the girl went to school to learn.
Hey,
She learned.
hey,
She learned
hey,
quickly.
She went to school.
Padawan learned her that day. She
And
learned
then
her.
I
She
and
was
then
a
I
very
asked her. I
lesson.
said, how's my son's grades, by the way? Well, he's an honor student. He's on the honor roll. So
Like, yeah,
does my son cuss and carry on and does he start fights? No, he's really calm and cool and collective, nice natured. So you know that girl was the catalyst to that shit. As a matter of
exactly.
fact, the friends of hers jumped his girlfriend.
Oh, really? So I know well, first and foremost, that girl went to school that day to learn applied sciences. So, so what
She got.
what was did
Down
him and the girlfriend retaliate?
I mean, it's a medical academy at that. And I said, how the fuck did she get here? And she's got this behavior. I said, so I should. And I said, she spat in my son's face. I said, that could be classified as a goddamn hate crime.
It's
But
definitely
once
assault.
Hell,
That's
Charles, you had grounds to school up. You had grounds to sue the whole school district for that shit if you wanted to. If you really wanted to
exactly,
be that petty.
exactly. Because here's the craziness about the whole thing. When when you hold people accountable, there's gotta be heads to roll. You take no mercy. I said either she. I said I'm gonna tell you one thing and one thing only. That little girl better be expelled from the school.
Charles, you're going to have to repeat that. You're going in and out, good buddy. You're going in and out.
Or it's gonna be held to pay.
So what
Take
happened?
it how you like it.
So what happened?
Well, you gotta calm down, Mr. Falker. I am calm. Because they attacked them. They weren't the aggressors.
So what happened? What was the end result?
That the girl who spat on them got expelled.
And what did they do with your son?
Oh, he's reinstated.
So is that why the girls had his girlfriend jumped?
Yeah, because they jumped like they because they she was trying to get him to make sure he wasn't gonna kill her ass.
Right.
He
So
jumps
okay.
she so then her friends jumped her.
And what happened to them?
Her friends jumped her.
What happened to the friends?
They got suspended.
That's what I thought. So y'all doing all this
Oh,
dumb
the
nigga
friends were
shit.
suspended.
Yeah, so they out here doing all this dumb nigga shit on the behalf of a raggedy bitch, ruining their future for what? What? For shits and giggles?
Yeah, for some dumb shit.
Fake loyalty. Fake loyalty.
Dumb shit. Nobody bothered them. Nobody wanted to deal with them just for dumb shit.
But you know, but when I say that we need a culling, I mean I know it's not gonna happen, but we definitely need to separate ourselves from a vast collective of ourselves because you know you're at a point now where you have to love your people from afar.
Yeah. You heard
You
my
have to gather with like minds.
you heard my live stream when I said I'm through. I'm through. I said I know my boy. He's not an angel, but he's not a delinquent. And I'm like, I'm very businesslike when I handle my son when I'm at school. Either you deal with this shit the right way, or I'm gonna deal with it the wrong way. I'm gonna give you the chance. A lot of your boys are not protected in these schools, man. They're not. And then that's what I told Shorty. I was like, yo, first and foremost, you're saying that we're the leaders, but can we invoke punishment and reward in our community? And the answer is no. You're not the leader. So stop the bullshit.
Why'd y'all go quiet? What is with the dead air? Have we all gone silent or is it just me? Is it just my end?
Well, I'm gonna hit y'all up later. Woo. Peace.
Woo!